People say change your environment. People say put on some music or dance or draw or take yourself out. When you're in, there's levels to overwhelm. When you're in the deep, deep overwhelm, you can't do outside because maybe you have to make your hair and you can barely function, and you have to put on makeup, and then you have to talk to people. You don't want to talk to people. You just don't want to talk to people. It's laborious for you. It's draining. You actually get very drained and you can't explain it to anyone, and anyone says, but you're social. Normally, yeah, but I'm in the midst of overwhelm. My body is trying to understand. My body still perceives that there's a threat, and you've got to a point you're not processing everything consciously. It's now subconscious because you've been in this state for this long. So solutions, you try and get yourself out of the state. And I know everybody is saying, oh, think positive. It's really not that simple, because the person you're fighting is yourself. You're fighting a very thoroughly well organized machine. You're fighting a system that's got, when they talk about mind mapping, and the more you do a habit, the more a map is formed in your mind, and then it becomes subconscious and instantaneous. Well, you're fighting that, years of that, sometimes decades of that. It depends what the overwhelm is. And if it's grief, there's so many layers. Have you processed that? Grief never really goes away. It unravels at different points. And if it's loss of different things, sometimes things are tied to your identity. Even if you didn't lose it and you walked away, sometimes it's tied to your identity, and now you're either excavating an old identity, but you've possibly outgrown that, or you're discovering that you're this other person and you miss the old you. But the old you and the old friends and the old they can't come with you. Or maybe you got so far off course that you do need to revert to the older you. You need to excavate to return to who you really are, because maybe you morphed and you have a gift, or you have this brilliance of being what people need, and you became that for whoever you were with or whatever environment you were in, and now you're not authentic, you're not you. And to get back to you is so layered, because you've shielded yourself and you've made safety, you've made your new self the safe space. So now you're going to fight your body, you're going to fight your mind, because it's going to say, but we're safe like this, we like it like this. And you're going to say, no, that I want that old me, that's who I am. So then you have to reprogram yourself. It's hard. And anyone who says do this in 12 weeks, it doesn't take 12 weeks. Sometimes it doesn't even take 12 months. Some people have been at it years. And some habits are ingrained for so long. So there is a lot of people selling a lot of things. And I know you can do neurolinguistic programming. That's when you decide on a truth. And some people use mirror stuff. You say it to yourself in the mirror, or you write it down X times every day. Yes, you will get there. It's mind mapping at its core, at its most basic, yes. But it's not yet at the point where it's automatic, is it? It's not yet at the point where you're like, I think I do. You're not quite there yet. It's not think I do. You're not there. So during this time, you have to look at things like there are passive challenges, there are active challenges. Passive challenges are your nucleus, yourself, things you can control. Those are active challenges. Things you can't control, those are passive challenges. Let's say an incident happened. You cannot change said incident. It happened. What you might be able to do is change how you see it. And you're like, not really. It happened exactly as I see it happening. Did it though? Yes, certain facts are autonomous, but give yourself grace. What was going on in your life at that time? What other things were you carrying? Who were you being to everybody else that you forgot about yourself? That you allowed that to happen to you, Give yourself grace. Maybe you didn't have the bandwidth. Maybe you were carrying the jobs of 6 or 7 people all by yourself, and you just were tired. You took a breath for a minute, and someone took the opportunity and caused dysregulation in your life and caused harm or caused an incident. But whatever it was that transpired, give yourself grace. Yes, you won't be able to change that it happened, but you can change the lens you see it through. You can really identify the trigger point and give yourself grace and say, yes, but no. Yes, that happened, but it was because I was in this space. I was going through this thing. I was vulnerable in this way. Does it mean you must harden yourself to the point where nobody can access you? Absolutely not. It might mean you need to tighten your boundaries. In overwhelm, I don't think you can even do that. So when you're looking at your active challenges, what can you do? What can you actively do to change